I had to make a little trip. I figured I'd come and say hello. Yo, I really don't have a topic this morning. Like, I have no fucking topic at all. I will say that I've antagonized several people on X, which is funny because now it went from Twitter, which was like the biggest, you know, how would I say it? The biggest censorship platform in the world to the Wild West. It's like gone a complete 180. Hey, good morning, Southern Tier. Hey, Cobra. And so apparently this guy in France decided to say that Americans should let the people riot, and you know, that the president is being too heavy-handed. And then he put an American flag which had the wrong number of stars. And so I pointed out, I'm like, hey, one, that's the wrong flag. That was like the flag from like 1890. And two, you're retarded. So I called the guy a retard. and man, he got angry at me. And I got called all sorts of things this morning, which was fun to me. I got called the N-word, which was new. That I haven't heard before. Somebody else called me a Jew. I don't even know what the Jewish people have to do with me making fun of the guy's flag. Like, it's just absolutely bonkers. It's like people go on there and they just type bad words at other people. Like, I don't know if they're even thinking of making a coherent system, a coherent sentence. So it was funny. I was kind of amused. So I started posting obnoxious memes and I pissed the guy off again. So he's probably angry at me, you know, in France or wherever the guy's from. But yeah, I've been called some shit, but that was new. Yeah, that was, the American system has gone crazy. I don't know what's going on. A day without sunshine. I'm telling you, it's been an absolute, why is that homeless guy doing that? He's going to get hurt. Is it me, or is everyone noticing a lot more homeless people? Like, are they closing the shelters and shit, or more people getting addicted? Like, I don't know the cause of that, or maybe I'm just paying attention more. Too many nitrates in the water. I think people are nitrates lately. I seriously, I don't know what I got. I've not been called some of those things before. Like, the words didn't even make sense. It's like, maybe it's like some hacker farm in China, and he's like, oh, this Spanish man, he said bad words, so I'm gonna call him a Jew. What? Like, anyway, I mean, it's not that I'm offended by Jews. I'm just like, it's the wrong thing. If you're gonna call me something that makes sense. I just don't understand this shit. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a retards are everywhere. Oh, hold on. Yeah, they truly are everywhere. Yeah, and Cobra, YouTube hid your comment because it's a bad word. Like, people are, like I said, X has become the Wild West, so I just go there because it's a live news feed, which is very cool, right? Because if if there's a teenager witnessing, some kind of riot, and they're on the third floor of a hotel, they can just go on X and just live stream it to people. So in that respect, it's a really cool platform. But now it went from like total censorship, and you couldn't say anything, and you had to all be really nice and now it's like the fucking Wild West, and people are just calling each other racist slurs, but it's not the right racial slur, so it doesn't make sense. Like, one guy called another one a stupid Mexican, and the guy's white. Like, in his profile picture, it's a white dude. He doesn't even speak a lick of Spanish. It's not like you could say, well, he grew up in Mexico. No, none of the above. And it's just like, are you guys even paying attention to what's in your feed? Anyway, no. And Billy, you bring up a good point though. People they don't know how to behave, and they don't know how to endure hardship. Now, I don't know. My dad made his mistakes. Every parent does, right? But when I busted my ass doing something stupid, after he physically checked me to make sure I didn't actually cause an injury, a major one anyway, he'd be like, okay, well, go wash your knee. Yeah, it's like, just get up. So that's what I did to my kids. You know, my kids would eat shit, and I'm like, well, let me see. Okay, you're bleeding. Go wash the blood and put a Band-Aid. I literally emptied. Do you remember the old Johnson & Johnson first aid kits that was like a green box? It looked like a stupid Pelican case, and it had all the assortment of shit in there. So I actually bought one of those. Hey, good morning, Cold War. And I dumped it out and filled it with random ass Band-Aids. Like, there must have been 1,000 Band-Aids in this stupid box. And that was the doctor box, right? So anytime one of the kids, you know, crash landed, I would tell them, once I checked them to make sure they actually weren't genuinely injured, that maybe I need to go to the hospital kind of thing. 99% of the time is somebody ate shit because his brother or sister kicked him off a bike, or if he fell down the stairs. And if there was no major injury or concussion, I'd be like, well, go wash the injury and put a Band-Aid. And then the cat got Band-Aids. The siblings would put Band-Aids on each other while they were sleeping. But that was the generation, that was the way I was raised, and that's how I raised my kids. Like, okay, if once the shock of the injury kind of wears off, which should be a few seconds, see if you're actually injured, like you have a hurt, and if not, like, clean it and put a bandage on it and move on. And people now freak out. Like, the amount of panic. We did not leave on my side of town. The other side of town got it. Big Spring had hail. Somebody posted a picture of a hail ball that looked, oh shit, how would I compare it? Like a small orange. It was probably about that big. Like, you could have grabbed it and tossed it at someone. It was bigger than a ping pong ball. And somebody else had posted a video on the neighborhood Facebook group that they got caught trying to drive away. There was a tornado near Greenwood night before last. We had the rain and the blowing from here, but hey, Little Lone, what's going on? And Kane Corso, I saw you in there. Hello, good morning. It's just, you know, see, and those are the things people need to prep for. Like, you get a really bad hailstorm and it hits the local power transfer station, and now you've got a blackout, and if it's bad enough, you're going to be in the dark for a week, right, while they fix it and get all the parts. Not that we shouldn't prepare for more serious things, but those are real life things. I can't count the number of hailstorms that happen in Texas every year. Car accidents. And that's what I was saying yesterday in my live stream. It's like, folks, prepare for the real life shit. The things that happen every day, right? You lose your job. That's kind of a personal level SHTF, if you think about it. My homeschool kids are 100, oh shoot, I lost it. More prepared for life than the public. Yeah, I believe it. It also depends on the parent. Like, I was a public school kid, so were my kids. But every day we would circle up with the kids while they did homework in the dining room. I'd be cooking dinner and I'd be talking to them. Hey, what problems do you have? What did you discuss in school? And that would be why my middle son wound up in the principal's office, because he called his English teacher a socialist concubine, which, or Marxist concubine, I'm sorry. And that did not fall well on the teacher. And you know, they called me in, and you know, because my wife goes, she's gonna lose her temper because she's the one with the bad temper. So I go, and the principal's like, well, you know, he called her Marxist concubine or succubus or something. And I said, well, her comment was Marxist. I mean, there's no doubt. I'm a student of history. And she said he could have gotten away with that part, but when he called her a concubine, that's what got him in trouble. So as I left, I told my son, I said, I'm not grounding you because, you know, she was out of line, but be advised, you shouldn't call your teacher a hooker or an ancient hooker. Like, just stick with the Marxist part and stop. But Yeah, see, my wife would have gone there and called the principal a Marxist, and then things would have escalated. So, you know, it's just what it is. Hey, Teresa, good morning. But folks, what we're seeing today is, so this morning in Los Angeles, a guy came out with a big wooden cross, like the crucifix, and he took a knee in front of the police line, and he had his mask, but he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he sat and he prayed, and he put a hand out, and he prayed to the cops, and then he prayed to the protesters, and pretty soon there were about 9 protesters in a line holding hands, and they were raising hands in prayer for peace for both sides. And some people were like, oh, you should pepper spray them. I'm like, no, that's peaceful protest. If they all just block traffic and were praying to get attention to whatever cause, they're allowed to do that. I mean, they could get arrested, they're blocking traffic and shit, but no, I'd rather they do that than burn down the donut shop that, you know, Antonio owns after, you know, his family came from wherever, and you're going to burn down his taco stand or his donut shop. I'd rather they pray in the streets, you know. I don't. People are just looking for reasons to be assholes lately. And I think social media made it worse. I really do. Like, it encourages people to be ugly because there's no consequence. All right, type 1 in the comments if at some point in your life you opened your mouth at the inappropriate time and immediately got a consequence, like a grounding, a spanking, somebody punched you, you got thrown out of a bar, whatever it was. Just throw a 1 in there, because I could put a bunch of 1s on mine. But there was an immediate consequence when you did this stuff, and now there's not, right? So these kids are online just being horrendous to each other, and then they come in, you know, they do it to your face, and you punch them, or you correct them, or you eject them from where they are, and they're shocked, like they don't know how to react to that. And it's like, well, buddy, this is real life, this is not virtual. I don't know, it's just wild seeing how poorly people handle shit. As if, you know, I can cross boundaries, and if I piss the other guy off, I just call them a snowflake and they have to back down. And no, that's not how you call them a snowflake on top of whatever you said in the first place. Now you're going to probably get a worse beating than you would have in the first place. So what about the helicopter gunships flying over LA? I have not seen them. I saw the Blackhawks, but they did not look like gunships. I don't know if there's a Cobra. Was there like an Air Cobra or a Apache flying around? They don't even need the guns on those things. He just needs to get really low and prop wash the shit out of the protesters. Like, they'll all be on the floor with those big blades. Yeah. And those of you who are military, do you think they could do that with the Chinook? I know the Marines still have those. Just like go over the protesters really low and prop wash the shit out of everybody and just knock them all down. It wouldn't technically injure anyone. It would just knock them over. But they have pictures of actual helicopter gunships. Oh, I'm going to have to look for those. I didn't check this morning for that. But folks, right now, all the protests, all the insanity seems to be centralized in Los Angeles. They had ICE raids in New York, and the mayor of New York said NYPD was not going to get involved, but they would assist immediately if requested, and they would do traffic control. In other words, they'd block the traffic while ICE did their thing. And he said, so long as they're illegal and they're criminals, if they're picking up criminals, New York didn't care. Boston didn't care. Florida didn't care. This is an LA thing. This is a Los Angeles thing. San Francisco, they're all stoned, so nobody cares. The ICE doesn't even have to do raids. They can just leave pizza at the door, knock on the door, the potheads will come out, and then they'll arrest them. This is very specific to LA. Now, they've had some protests elsewhere, but nothing seemed to have gained traction. So this is an LA problem. This is a California problem. For now, anyway. Now, I have heard that on June 14th, which is supposedly the day of this parade the president's supposed to do, they're going to have a day of action across the country. There's a map that's been put out, and you guys can look at this. It's June 14th, day of action, something like that. And it's supposed to be protests in a bunch of cities. But right now, the only one that's having an issue is LA. So I don't know if they're trying to get people to be part of this or if it's actually a plan. But if you're traveling during this time, you know, it is summer break, you got the kids home from school, kids go to tournaments, they go to baseball games and whatever. Make sure you plan out, check your local news at where you're going, not where you are, and see what is planned for that day. Get on X, get on Instagram, get on Facebook for the local area that you're going to visit and see what the locals are saying. Is there a protest? Are they putting up barricades? What you don't want to do is take your kids to a soccer tournament or a baseball tournament. You get in the hotel, you come out, there's a riot outside. Now you're trapped with your kid in a hotel. That would be horrifying for me, is to have to worry about a child or teenagers in an event. Dallas had an issue last night with disbursement of tear gas. Oh, okay. Okay, so spreading a little bit. And I also think the Texas cops are going to jump on it, even in Dallas, faster than LA did. But, you know, it is what it is. Plan your trips this summer. I expect it's going to be a very busy protest / weird shit summer. So just plan out your trips. If you're going to make a trip, look ahead, know your routes, know your alternates, have a contingency. If you can't get to your destination, what are you going to do? Do you have your cars big enough to sleep in the car? Do you have another place you can stay? Know where the gas stations are. Know where the charging stations are. I know most of you don't have an electric car, but if you do, you have an EV, it's even more imperative. I can find gas stations everywhere. You can't find EV charging stations everywhere, so you got to plan that stuff out. You gotta be aware of where you can and can't go to get your vehicle to the next waypoint. But plan out your trips. They've got a lot of weird stuff on the internet right now, and they're saying there's, again, June 14th, there are other protests that are being announced, and it would behoove everyone to kind of be ahead of that and understand, hey, you know what, this is going to impede my trip, this is going to get in my way. Again, prepping should be pragmatic, if nothing else. Make sure you bring food, make sure you bring meds if anybody in the family needs meds for a chronic issue. If you're flying, I always rent a car. I know that may not be in everyone's budget. I will rent the cheapest piece of shit I can get my hands on at Avis. Because you can rent one of those stupid little Kia potatoes for like 20 bucks a day. And if I'm going to be there 3 days at 60 bucks, well worth it because I have a card. And if I have to throw all my crap in that little potato and drive across Texas from Houston to West Texas, and Lee can comment, Cold War can comment on how many hours that would take in that little potato, I'll be happy to do it rather than be stuck at the airport in Houston because they shut me down for some reason. I'll just tell Avis, hey, I'm going to turn in your car and, you know, in somewhere other than where I picked it up because things happen. And they can charge me whatever, I don't care. But folks, plan your trips out, be smart. Have you go, hey, Farmer, happy birthday. Congratulations. We survived another year. Ooh. That's sarcasm, but yeah, congratulations. Enjoy the day, man. Have fun with that. But anyway, folks, look, y'all be safe, be careful out there. The internet's become the Wild West again, that's fine. But if you're traveling, people are protesting. There is a lot of instability, societal more than economic, although the economy is kind of even keel right now. So plan out your trips. Don't go somewhere and get caught in something and get caught flat-footed, right? Check the weather, check the routes, check construction, and most importantly, check activities, people doing stuff. Even if it's fun stuff, you go to New Orleans and Mardi Gras kicks off, you're not leaving. Like, you can't. They block all the roads for the parade. You're there for the duration. You might sneak out between parades, that's about it. So even fun stuff could be a problem. So listen, folks, you all be careful, be safe out there, plan your stuff, and try to enjoy the summer a little bit despite the weirdness. I will see you all on my next video, and tonight we're supposed to be on, I think, Vision's channel. So he should be putting out a link. I haven't seen it yet, but he should be putting out the live stream sometime today. Anyway, you guys, be good, be safe, take care of yourselves. Bye.